What's something a man did that instantly made you feel unsafe, even if it wasn't aggressive? 1. I was a cashier at a fast food place when I was 18 and I took this guy's order. He asked me what time I got off. I said, "Oh, later tonight." It was like 4 p.m. Instant red flags. He proceeded to sit in the lobby, within eye view, and waited for hours. It turned dark and he was still there, still glancing every so often. It was getting closer to my clock out time and I was petrified. He hadn't done anything, but I was scared to walk out to my car. I hid in the office and the old grill cook finally went to the lobby and told him off, that I'd left through the back door. Apparently he came back the next day looking for me. I had the day off. The grill cook told him I'd quit because he scared me. He never came back after that. 2. My most recent therapist and I were talking about beliefs, and I told him I was an atheist and his demeanor immediately changed. He got incredibly tense and visibly rigid, got really curt, and glared at me the same way my dad and brother used to when they really wanted to hurt me, and eventually would. It was the kind of glare that you know is followed up by an attack. And he just sat there for a bit, glaring in silence, jaw clenched, unblinking. And then said, "Let's just schedule your next session." Which we did, and I cancelled it 2 days later because I felt so unsafe. I know that if it hadn't been a virtual appointment, he would have hurt me. I feel it in my gut. 3. Went on a few dates with this guy. The following week he asked if we could go out to dinner, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm sorry, I have plans with girls from work that night, but maybe the next night we could do something?" I never said who specifically I was going with, and he didn't know any of my coworkers outside of like seeing them twice when he picked me up from work for 2 dates. I never said where we were going. I'm mid-conversation with my friends at dinner and one of them is like, "Did you know your friend was coming?" I'm like, "What friend?" And I look up and the guy is walking towards our table and sits down like he was invited. All conversation just stopped and we all stared at him. I still have no idea how he knew where I was. I didn't have a car at the time, so it's not like he spotted my car and knew I was there. After an incredibly long awkward silence I was like, "So? I told you I'm not free tonight." He was like, "If you're going to be like that, don't bother talking to me anymore." So I didn't. 4. Had a dude really snidely ask why I was taking my purse with me to the restroom, so, matching his energy, I whole-chestedly announced that I needed to change my tampon and didn't feel like I needed his permission to be discreet about it. The look he gave me, you would have thought I shit on the table. Then he got really red and quietly told me to stop making a scene and we'd talk about it after dinner. I dropped a 20 on the table, grabbed my jacket and booked it. I grew up with an abusive mother, and I know what that kind of phrase really means. Maybe he would have stopped at just words, but I was not risking it for a first date. 5. A client walks up to me in a space where nobody else was around and says, "You look just like my ex-wife." I said, "Oh, interesting," because I had no idea what to say to that, and he instantly replied, with direct eye contact, "I fucking hate my ex-wife."